Hey, welcome back everyone, Toyshiz here, and I'm back yet again with a little something different. Today it comes courtesy of my friends over at Super 7. This is an early look at their brand new 3 3/4 inch reaction figure toy line, The Weirdest, Wave 1. Very cool, right? This is BLÖÖD, the first figure, rock and roll vampire king he be. Very awesome. Love the artwork across the packaging, right? But we're not in it for the artwork. We're looking at the figures. So we're going to take an in-depth look, of course. On the backside, can you believe it? Check that out. That's amazing. I love that character. I can't wait till they release. I can't show you just yet. But just rest assured, Wave 2 is coming. The next figure of Wave 1, though, however, is TRASHQUATCH, the ghastly, nasty garbage ghoul. And I want to say gabagool every single time. But again, very different, very interesting. Curious to see how this one will pan out. But I gotta tell you, just stay tuned for Goryor, the immortal fighter of pain. This one's gonna be a real treat. Mortal battle damage, just blood splattered right across, and the artwork is disgusting, and I loves it. So, this is gonna be an absolute blast. Sit back, relax, grab yourself a nice hot cup of coffee. This is an early look at the brand new The Weirdest Wave 1 featuring TRASHQUATCH, BLÖÖD, and Goryor by Super 7. And while I got all you weirdos here, I just want to say thanks so much for always checking out my YouTube videos. If you haven't already, please do consider subscribing. Old toys, new toys, daily news updates. Guarantee you'll find something here that you like. Now, here's everything out of the packaging. Goryor, TRASHQUATCH, and BLÖÖD. I just want everybody, if you get the figure, you have to say his name like that from now on. We'll kick it off with TRASHQUATCH. Interesting figure. I would say you can leave these in the packaging all you want. Once you get them out, I'd like to have a figure you can play with. You can do something with. It's not just displayable, right? You need a little something to it. TRASHQUATCH has great design. We'll give him that across the board. But there's really not much going on in terms of a toy, and that's where I'm kind of bummed. He's got peg holes, he's got the legs and the arms, he will twist at his TRASHQUATCH waist, which is nice to see. He's got plenty of that 3 3/4 articulation, and his head, so to speak, will move. The eyes are great, teeth, everything's painted nicely. On the backside, you get to see he's part supernatural, part garbage can, part Sasquatch, right? It's a nice little mashup right there. So while the paint, the articulation is fine, I do wish he did more. Like if he had a tab on the back and his garbage can mouth opened and you could put garbage in there, or you could make his mouth flap, something like that. He could hold the garbage. He comes with nothing. And that's where I think that he kind of misses the boat as far as a functional toy. Again, I'll say it all day. It's a great design. It's fun. I like what Super 7 is doing with the worst and the weirdest. They're having fun. They're making cool toys. But this one is less of a toy and more of it's on the packaging. Don't open it up. Look at the artwork. Look at it. Which is fine. A lot of people will end up doing that. But for me, as far as a toy, as far as playing with it, he's very lackluster. I like his little long arms. He's very cool. He's going to get you. He's kind of a Ghostbusters toy, right? In many ways. Kind of a Kenner kind of deal. Now, the next one is BLÖÖD. And he comes with his rock and roll vampire guitar, which is all one color, which is totally fine. I dig that when it comes to simplistic 3 3/4 inch. The bat is cool. Everything's sculpted nicely. He's got the little band on it to put over his arm and his shoulder. It's nice. I like what they did here with that. This figure was the one, when I first saw it announced, I was like, that's awesome. That is a cool design right there. The old teeth, right? You got the eyes, his belts. He's very cool looking, very much in the vein of the worst and the weirdest. Kind of sort of things we've seen from Super 7. He very much has a Ben Kenobi cloak cape from the old Kenner Star Wars days, right? Very 3 3/4 inch, nice style. But the arms is where it kind of loses me. He's very much pre-posed. He's in that with the guitar and nothing else. You can't put his arms down. You can't really do much with him. And to me, that's kind of a bummer because he's such a cool design. I really like the way this figure came out. Just wish you could do more with him. On the back, he has the same design he has on his front. His legs will go all the way up with his silver starship boots. He's quite a presence. He does not have anything in the waist, however, so just keep that in mind. So it's the head, the arms, and the legs, and then he has that little bit of a soft goods cape, you could say. The head will rotate, although it doesn't really go much because of the way this is cut in his kind of sort of Spawn cape. Grab the guitar, put it around his giant teeth-filled head, and you get his arms up, and he holds the guitar nicely. And that's what I mean. He looks great once the guitar is in hand, but I do wish you could put his arms down if you wanted to do a little bit more with him. Just have an alternate pose out of him. Again, I'll say all day, this is my favorite design out of all three, but he kind of loses points when you want to actually do something with him. However, he immediately gains points again when you shut the lights off because he's glow in the dark. And I like that they did that. The big old fang teeth glow, they light up, they're very cool. It doesn't say that on the box. I feel like I saw that somewhere in the whole promotions of them and everything else. It doesn't say glow in the dark on the box, but rest assured, BLÖÖD glows in the dark. So I totally dig that. So again, he's great. He's kind of lackluster and posing around, but he's a very cool figure for your shelf. Now, those two aside, I'm going to tell you, this one right here, Goryor, is the most functional toy and one of my favorite toys I've seen in a while. He comes with a lot of weapons. They're all painted nicely. He's 3 3/4 inch. He comes with a ton of accessories in that sense, whereas the other two come with none and one. So you get a giant axe, again, nice paint on that, and you get a little bit of a smaller axe as well. All the weapons are extremely sharp. Just keep that in mind. It's very funny, but it fits with the idea of this character. So this is Goryor. He's immortal. He's totally wrecked. He's a skeleton corpse thing walking around. He's got a huge dent in his skull, his arm. You can see through his chest cavity right there. This is fun. This is a very fun figure. And again, with what I said about TRASHQUATCH and then a little bit about BLÖÖD, this is a fun toy because when you take an axe right here and lop him off at the leg, his leg comes off. And I absolutely love that. You have the bone sticking out. You can reattach it at your leisure. It stays on there nicely. He's got the blood and the bones. That's cool. That's a fun toy. I love this. This is one of my favorites that they have ever done. Top notch right here. But that's not where the fun ends, of course. You get the other sword and lop off his arm. And he's got a removable arm as well. The big old bones sticking out. You got all the carnage of his blood and sinew. Now, in all honesty, he kind of gets an alternate articulation point in a sadistic, weird, cruel way. But yeah, it's very cool. He is Goryor. He is every bit his name, his character design, and I totally like that. He's a fully functional action figure with all this grotesque misery that you can imbue upon him, and that's awesome. Because right here, you take the axe, and you can jam that into his skull. That is awesome. I absolutely love that. That's so much fun. You can move it around. It's just stuck in his skull right there. Then you can take the little smaller one and jam that into his arm, so it looks like it went right through. I love that. And then the best part, you take the sword, you can kind of slowly stab him, right? There's a little stab, but then you run him through, and that's the blood is just, this is fun. Or you can go the other way, right? You get him from behind. It's great. So again, in the name of the weirdest, and having a functional toy, and having a beautiful packaging, and then being able to lop off most of his limbs, if you could have lopped his head off, that would have just been the top-notch icing on the cake. But for what they've done here, with putting all the weapons, I mean, the fact that he can hold all the weapons too is a lot of fun. You know what I mean? So maybe he accidentally did this to himself in so many ways, but the fact you can get that giant axe to fit right through his skull. He's got that two-face thing going on where part of it's all ripped off. He's missing teeth. The big old sword. I love just the idea of just ramming that sword through his chest. The blood going every which way, both ways. Again, they absolutely nailed the fun of this character. And if you were wondering how all of these scale up, they are in that 3 3/4 inch reaction series. So from everything Kenner, Star Wars, Ninja Turtles, everything that is in that 3 3/4 inch scale, yeah, these will match up quite nicely. And just to kind of harken back to Trash Squatch, he is very much a Ghostbusters character to me, and I totally dig that. He can go with the larger Diamond Select Ghostbusters, he can go with the Kenner ones, he can go with the TCU toys that we just recently looked at for their 3 3/4 inch. But in all honesty, that is reaching just a little bit because of the character. And then, of course, you have the worst, which is part of their Ultimates line. So you have Reaction as the weirdest, and then you have the Ultimates, the worst. And I gotta tell you, I hope that one day, I really like Super 7's creativity. Everyone always says, it's the same thing over and over and over again. Well, this is right up my alley in terms of something different, something unique, and I hope that they can get on store shelves at a lower price point and put more projectile firing and all kinds of different things to put on these figures that harken back to the old days, but are now all these new characters. You could have BLÖÖD's mouth chattering. You can have Trash Squatch's lid opening and closing, rocket firing out trash, right? Goryor, he's next to perfect right there. I'm actually happy. If you can lop off more limbs, that would be great. But again, from the worst to the weirdest, they're definitely different, but we just gotta work on getting that price point down and have them do just a little bit more. So that will wrap it up for my early look at the brand new Super 7 3 3/4 inch, the weirdest reaction figures, Wave 1. BLÖÖD is a great design. Doesn't do much, just kind of stands there, but he glows in the dark, and I definitely dig that. So he's fun. Trash Squatch, the design's great on him, the paint's great. He's very fun looking, he's very different, but he's very lackluster at the end of the day. When you want him as a toy, he really doesn't do much, so he's definitely on the bottom of my list. And then you have this fine specimen of a toy right here that you can just cut his limbs off, stab him repeatedly. This is awesome. He looks like he's in so much pain, but we're having fun just dissecting him. We're the worst, so to speak. But you've heard my thoughts. Now I'm curious to know yours. Comment below, let me know. Let's talk everything the weirdest. And I'm going to leave you guys with that. As always, drink some great coffee, eat some great food, but most importantly, remember, stay tuned for Wave 2. When it's announced, I'll have a video going. And when they do, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.